turn right onto Columbia. In a quarter mile, turn right onto Schoolcraft.
So, how was your weekend? I didn't do shit.
I know.
Kind of wasted the whole week.
Go past this stop sign. Then at the next one, turn right onto Schoolcraft. Turn right, then make a U-turn. Make a U-turn.
thing. If they forge 3 chances, let's get a touchdown. Then kick the field goal. It's like they set themselves up and put in their mind, you know what, we're just going to go for the field goal. If they would have hit a touchdown, now Baltimore's got to score a touchdown.
At the next light, turn left.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't know.
I agree with you. Obviously, you have to take other circumstances into consideration as well with being so late in the game and
his goal was wanting to use
wanting to burn timeouts. I get it, but it does, I think we have seen at the end of the game, you could say with the 3-man rush and with just running the ball 3 times and kicking the field goal that it was conservative, which is something that goes against
turn left onto 6 Mile
kind
Road.
of the philosophy that we've been hearing out of the coaching staff. But there's also been a lot of time. I mean, how many times have they tried to go for it on 4th and 1? That's kind of tells you that they're they're not satisfied with just punting the ball, and they tried to again yesterday and had a couple penalties.
Yeah.
On the 4th and 1s that were extremely frustrating. One I think was Fell's false start on the 4th and 1.
Yes, yes, it was.
Sewell false start on the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, those weren't decoy plays. I mean, they were trying to go for it on 4th and 1, and you could tell just by the reaction of the sideline coaches that they were upset because obviously you're not going for it on 4th and 6 now. But
there was 1 or 2 times where he looked like he was trying to get them to go offside.
I mean, but
not on those 2.
But the fact that, and I think it also plays into who you're playing, right? San Fran, Green Bay, Baltimore, teams that can score a lot of points. Field goals aren't going to beat those teams early in the game. But I do like the aggressiveness that we have seen, from Coach Campbell showing that, with 4th and 1, we can't get it. We don't deserve it.
Let's take one more. Ed in Ann Arbor, what's going on?
Hey guys, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I'm a long-time Lions fan, a die-hard Lions fan, and I got to tell you guys, our future's so bright we got to wear a shade. I saw so much effort from an undermanned team yesterday. I haven't seen that kind of effort ever in my life. Okay? And I'm
talking about Baltimore?
12 years old.
So, Ed, let me ask you a question. When do you what's your timeline for the Lions to be bright?
The Lions won't be right until they get in their own minds that they're winning. Till they stop listening to the fans and get after it.
Hell yeah, Ed.
So it's our fault, Ed, huh?
Well, look.
Turn right onto Middle Belt Road.
Outside of New York City, this is the most negative football city I've ever been in. Okay?
You should try Philly.
S-O-L. What are the S-O-L? That's a mantra that people say around here.
It's tradition.
Hide their own disgust. To just, I mean, they don't know how to
In
win.
2 miles, turn left onto
You win
West
by
8 Mile
effort.
Road.
And that was a great effort yesterday. And if you're looking at it the right way, it took a historic kick to beat those guys.
Preach, Ed.
So I just hope Campbell looks the part, he talks the part, he acts the part, and when that team takes on his personality, they're going to be fine.
Amen, brother.
All right, Ed. Preacher Ed. All right.
Great call to finish the Monday show.
That's right.
Optimism.
We switched pulpits to the Carson Anderson show. What's up, Gator? What's up, Reverend Gator?
Guys, you ready to play, TJ?
Let's go.
Did you see your house bumps?
Yeah. Woo. Grab my helmet.
Oh, man.
How'd you survive? I know you...
I was watching from home.
Oh, you didn't go?
No, I did not go. So I was watching from home, and I had gotten up from my chair to go over to my living room table and do a lot of the prep work for the show. And I just turned the TV and just sat down, and the kick is up. I'm like watching it. And okay. And then I see it hit the crossbar. And I'm like, oh, they got lucky. And then I realized, no, they didn't get lucky. No, they did not get lucky. It was, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it anymore. Doug and I were just talking right before about, we don't even like discussing the SOL thing. We hate it. I despise it.
I know.
However, is that just, I said to Doug, is that why it's SOL? Is SOL a definition of it that you run out of words to describe what you're seeing? Because it's just repetitive. It's the same thing. It's like we can't keep saying. We discussed before. It's uncanny how this happens.
Yeah.
Or it's unbelievable how this happens.
It's like FUBAR. It's just a word, but you just don't know how to describe what's going on.
See, I always use
Well, that I understand. I saw Heartbreak Bridge.
That's
I know
the
how
football
Clint
version.
Eastwood.
So else the football
I
version.
use TTL. They're the Lions.
They're the Lions.
Would
Yeah.
it have been different for you if it hadn't hit the crossbar?
I'll tell you what. If it hadn't hit the cross, like I mean, if it
just went in,
through,
if
just
it
went in.
just went in, just
No,
a
it's the
field goal.
same thing.
It's a record, NFL record. It's 66 yards, but
The NFL record part is the part that just as you go. Yeah, of course it was.
And the same score as Dempsey's when it was.
Unbelievable.
So, short and show, I guess you'll be talking about this.
Oh, that's right. You do have a short show today. It's going to feel like it's the longest show ever.
No, it's
We've done
not.
this before. We've done this a lot. It never stops.
Maybe you'll get some people needing therapy like we had.
Well, like, I'm worried about that caller.
yeah.
It destroyed his day. He was distraught, and then to the point where you went to ask a follow-up question, and he wasn't there.
I know. Hope
I
he's
hope
okay.
he's still there.
Yes.
But this is, we'll talk about the Lions debacle there. I don't know if we're going to have time to get into the Michigan State stuff that happened over the weekend. That's probably likely a tomorrow topic. But we'll talk about the Lions. We have Champ and Chump coming up at 10, right out of the gate, actually, at 10 o'clock. Doug and I will have ours coming up at 10:35.
All right, Carson Anderson next. Thanks, TJ, for being here. He'll be here every Monday after Lions wins, losses, and all other crap that they put on. We'll see you tomorrow, 97.1 The Ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit.
At the next light, turn left.
An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
This will in fact be a 66-yard attempt for Justin Tucker. This game hangs in the balance with the longest kick in the history of the National Football League on the line. Tucker's ready. There's the snap. Spot down. Kick on the way. It is up and it is off the crossbar and through. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Good morning. Lions fall to 0-3, losing to the Ravens 19-17 on an NFL record walk-off. 66-yard field goal from Justin Tucker, the same guy that did in the Lions in 2013 at the buzzer with a 61-yarder. Now, prior to the kick, the Lions had allowed a 36-yard completion in 4th and 19, and the officials missed a delay of game penalty against the Ravens. Lions in Chicago next week, Bears favored by 3.5. Matthew Stafford, now the early favorite for the MVP award, throwing 343 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Rams go to 3-0, beating Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, 34-24. Michigan moves up to number 14, MSU to 17, the latest AP college football rankings. Michigan only a 1-point underdog at Wisconsin Sunday, despite not having won there since George Bush was in the White House. MSU favored by 10 over Western Kentucky Saturday at Spartan Stadium. Tigers lose to Kansas City 2-1, final home game of the season today against the White Sox. 110 right here, the first pitch, 12:50 our broadcast on 97.1 The Ticket. The Americans win the Ryder Cup over Europe 19-9. It was the largest rout ever since Europe joined the competition back in 1979. Other NFL winners yesterday: Raiders, Bills, Browns, Titans, Packers, Chargers, Saints, Falcons, Bungles, Cardinals, Broncos, and Vikings. Monday Night Football tonight, Philadelphia is at Dallas against the Cowboys. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Doug Kosh and Scott the Gator Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.
Gator, all I can say is just add it to the montage. Add it to the montage. Just put this one on the end of the montage, which is already a long reel.
Look, I can only laugh at this point, and I'm not laughing with the haters. I'm not. You know, I want this football team to be good. I want to have fun watching football, and watching the Lions come back and take the lead yesterday, that was fun. Watching some guy kick a 66-yard field goal to set an NFL record as time expires on a play that shouldn't.
Should have been 5 yards back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who knows what could have happened? They still had time. They could have gotten closer with a pass because they still had like 7 seconds. Would they have taken another play to try to move up a little bit? Yeah, I think they would have.
Probably.
And they probably would have completed it. Maybe would have been attempted like a 60-yarder instead.
What would have happened? They would have completed it. They would have ruled it incomplete on the field, and then it would have been under further review, and then they would have said that is complete. On my whistle, start the play with 2 seconds left or 1 second left, and they'd spike the ball, and somehow the 1 second wouldn't run off. I mean, there's always something new. And this was new. The moment I heard this will be an NFL record, I'm like, oh, it's going to be good.
There it is.
Of course it's going to be good. Let's take the whole situation, right, and reverse it and say it was Prater that was trying a 66-yarder.
If this was Matt
last
Prater
year,
on the Lions.
yeah, when Prater was a Lion, and he tries a 66-yarder, and it hits the crossbar, which way does it bounce? It doesn't bounce through. We know this. There's no way it bounces through. Look, this montage has Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary, has Calvin on the process, has Edinger's field goal, has Muehlbach botching a snap, has Golden Tate's runoff with a ref screwed up, and it ruled it wrong on the field, and because it was reviewed, it overturned. There was a 10-second runoff, and the game was over, and the Lions lost. Things that don't happen in other places happen here. Eddie Murray missing a field goal while Monty Clark prays. Tom Dempsey. I mean, to start with Tom Dempsey and a record field goal.
My nephew literally just texted me. He said, didn't this happen to the Lions in 1970?
Yes.
So I kicked the
1971.
Yeah.
You had a Schwartz throw a challenge flag on a play that was already reviewable, which nullifies the review.
Right.
I mean, stuff that doesn't happen elsewhere, and much of it is self-inflicted. I mean, let's face it. They had a 4th and 19. They had a chance to go for a kill shot, more of a kill shot with a touchdown. There's all kinds of things that led up to it, but in the end, it's our identity that prevails. The identity of the Detroit Lions in vintage, classic, seen-it-before fashion is always going to win out. That's a hard thing to shake. God bless him. God bless Jared Goff. Did you hear what he said post-game? That's about as big as a gut punch as I've ever been a part of. The gut punches are going to stop. It's so cute.
Because we know better. Because we've seen it come time. Look, even good teams are going to have gut punches, so you can't say that.
Yes.
And he's been here for all 3 games, and it's sad that he's already immersed in the culture. He knows what it is because we've all been through this. Oh man, I mean, it was such an opportunity yesterday. You had a team that was decimated without their starters, without 7 starters on defense. Baltimore was. Mm-hmm. The Lions defense, a couple of changes, and look what a difference it made. I mean, bringing in Reeves-Maybin and Barnes at linebacker, and Anzalone looked like a completely different player. They did a great job in limiting the Ravens to 19 points.
And the Ravens shot themselves in the foot. They dropped a
did,
couple of touchdown passes. They missed an earlier field goal.
You know what? That happens to every team in every game. Stuff like that happens, okay? Sure. And then they get made up because they get to play at the end and they make up 3 points there, or there were blown coverages by the Lions, right? I mean, this stuff happens. But the fact was they held them to 19 points. That defense against that offense which ran roughshod over the first 2 opponents this year, even though they split those games, but they put up a bunch of points, over 30 points against the Raiders, over 30 points against Kansas City. They were averaging like 200 yards a game on the ground. The Lions did a great job defensively against Baltimore. Now, it was after last week's game, the Monday night game, that Dan Campbell came out and said that the offense let us down when the defense couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers. This week, I'll agree. The offense let you down because against that defense that didn't have any starters in it, you had literally a handful of starters playing on defense, and they just could not move the football in the first half. Started to do it a little bit in the second half. It was as if they just totally, said, we're going with the short game, and it started to work. They started getting big chunks of yardage, even though it was, a little screen pass off to the side. Boom, he breaks the tackle and goes for 9 yards instead of getting nailed for a 2-yard loss. Swift did a great job. He did a great job here and here. But it's amazing that it's just right now, it's just little pockets of goodness that you see from this team. It's not enough to sustain for a full game. But I was encouraged a little bit by the second half offensively, and yet there are things I'm really upset about and I'm concerned about offensively that happened in the second half as well.
The bulk of most of our lives, this has been the Detroit Lions. The bulk of most of our lives, the Detroit Lions, they find a way, and breaking this cycle seems to be a monumental task. And maybe it'll happen someday, but hey, you know what everybody's thinking? Same old Lions is still fully intact until we see otherwise. And I don't know what it's going to take. It's probably going to take a crossbar shot to go over for the Lions. It's probably going to take an NFL rule getting changed because it benefited the Lions. It's going to take
somebody gets a taunting penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Some consecutive, consequential, game-changing moments that go the Lions' way before the cycle feels like it's broken. But the cycle feels like it's fully intact. Now, like you said, you laughed, and I sound mad. I'm not really mad because there's no premium on this season. In fact, we're never going to look back and go, oh, God, if that ball just didn't go over the crossbar. Because they're not winning anything this year. There are going to be games in the future, we hope, if everything starts playing out the way it might under Brad Holmes, but there are going to be games in the future that are more important to win than this one was. This one was just right out of our playbook. Right out of our playbook.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, getting the first one is important. I think it is important for the players, their own psyche. I think it's important for Dan Campbell and his staff. They need to achieve something that makes them feel good about themselves, and it comes in the form of a win. We start going through this thing, like they got a golden opportunity on Sunday. The Bears, right? Justin Fields, did he look good? No. I'm sorry, what was it? One passing yard net in the game by the Bears yesterday? Mm-hmm. He didn't look good. Bears look completely beatable. Now, of course, you'd expect Justin Fields to have his coming out party against the Lions because that's how we've been conditioned to watch things happen. Right. But the reality is they got a real winnable game on Sunday. If they don't, this thing it's going to go on and on and on. And then we start talking about the streak. Hey, it's 8 games. They haven't won a game in 8 games. And when are they going to get the first win? They're going to start challenging. You don't want to get into that talk. You don't want to start getting into the 0-17 talk or anything close to that. What you want is the win to get everything out of the way. You can breathe a little bit, and then you can get and hit the field and prepare for what you need to do.
248-539-9797. We'll have our Champ and Chump nominations today at 10:35. It's Carson Anderson. Welcome to another Monday Autopsy here on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, the biggest game of Week 3 is the Monday night matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas, and FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel Sportsbook. Hey, promotions like this, one of the reasons why people love FanDuel Sportsbook, and it's helped make it the #1 rated sportsbook app in America. It's easy to use, safe and secure, and there are fast payouts. Just sign up with the promo code DOUG, D-O-U-G, this week before Dallas takes on Philadelphia, and you can win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember, that's the promo code DOUG, so they know that I sent you, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Maximum bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navien, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
Stuck in an expensive timeshare contract and feel like there's no way out?
I'm almost at $10,000 in 4 years. I've never traveled anywhere.
They made this sound that this would be a really good deal, that I could go anywhere, anytime I wanted to. That never worked out.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group. I've helped thousands of people get rid of their timeshares. I know all the tricks because I'm embarrassed to say I once worked in the timeshare industry. We've saved suffering timeshare owners millions in debt and maintenance fees. When you're approved as a client, I guarantee you a 100% success rate. We'll get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off of your back permanently.
I honestly would recommend that you call Wesley Financial. They will help you.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free information kit. If they can't get you out of your timeshare, you'll pay nothing. Call 800-770-2727. 800-
What's up?
When you were out at the Southfield one, the homeowner asked if you could knock on his door, and if you can't hear it, give him a call because he wanted to speak to you when you were out there.
Southfield one.
The Parker's Court one.
Okay, I have to look at it to remember.
No, it's not Southfield, South Lyon. Oh my gosh, South Lyon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do is if I'll knock on the door. If he doesn't come out, I will call you to call him. I don't like calling the people because then they start calling me nonstop.
Okay, yeah, no, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beard. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
Remain resilient, and the gut punches will stop. I'll talk to him tomorrow, and
because here's what we have to do. Here's what we can't do. Unfortunately, they didn't execute.
Now, did they not play to their strength? I mean, if you think about it, they've got a free agent kicker in Santoso who's they're playing to him kicking a field goal, and the other side's got the Hall of Fame kicker. And you've got one of the most efficient red zone offenses in the league. They do. Lions actually, I mean, it's 3 games, right?
They're perfect.
But they are at 87.5% touchdown ratio.
Right.
So they are scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They have weapons in the red zone. One, T.J. Hockenson, which was clearly a focal point of Baltimore's defense. The other's an emerging one in Quintez Cephas. And you've got running backs that have done a great job for you out of the backfield. I mean, right now, you're looking at DeAndre Swift going on to a 100-plus catch season. I wrote down at the time, you don't want to give Lamar Jackson, you got to give him more than 45 yards to defend, right? To keep him out of field goal range. You got to, if you give him 40 yards, 45 yards to get him into field goal range, there's a good chance he's going to get him there. I don't know if this means anything. So I first guessed it when they were running and making him use the timeouts. Then they were out of timeouts and they ran again. And you got a quarterback that's been there, done that, that knows to eat the football and not throw an incompletion. But Gator, so I first guessed that. Here's something, I don't know if this is consequential at all. The Lions had a 1st and 10 on the 13 after the long play to Khalif Raymond. And at the 2-minute warning, ESPN has that win probability thing. And the win probability was at 67.1. 2-minute warning, Lions down 2 points, 16-14. 1st and 10, 14-yard line, Baltimore with 2 timeouts. Lions win probability was 60%. They went run, timeout by Baltimore. Run, timeout by Baltimore. Run, clock tick down, Lions call timeout. Their win probability before they kicked the field goal was down to 54.1%. So, wow. Well, I don't know that means anything. The win probability always has seemed like a kind of this Mickey Mouse gauge, and yet statistics just said yeah, they went from having a 67% chance of winning to a 54% chance of winning by run.
That's interesting. Here's where I first guessed that sequence of plays once it was 1st and 10 from the 13 or whatever it was. I absolutely first guessed that because I thought, don't leave it up to the kicker you just signed last week. Take it in yourself. You've driven down the field. You've done it with sure passing. You've done it with smart running plays. They still get conservative. They got conservative. And I'm sure, like, hindsight being 2020 with Dan Campbell, like to do it differently. I mean, you got a field goal. I guess it worked out for you, but knowing what happened with Baltimore, maybe you'd like another crack at it because you could have gotten the first down. And if you got a first down, game's over. You know, then you got your chip shot field goal, or you could actually score a touchdown. You could have this whole game. Maybe Baltimore's going to let you try to score if they see the opportunity. But it didn't work out that way, and the rest is sadly history. But yeah, I first guessed the decision to run, and have you want them to work their timeouts, no doubt. But maybe one of these short passes that you've been doing all second half long. And to your point, you've got a quarterback that I would like to say knows better. But Goff did take a massive sack. I think it was in the first half, or late in the first half, or early in the second half. That it was a situation where, it ended up being like a 20-yard sack. What was that? Throw the ball, get rid of it, do something, and he didn't. Now, in this situation, down at the 13, 14-yard line, I would have trusted him, but in the back of my mind, I was still thinking about that earlier play when he took a bad sack.
248-539-9797. Eddie's in Garden City. Hi, Eddie.
Hey, great my call, fellas.
Sure.
Everyone was talking after the game, the 66-yard, that was, it could have went either way, bounced in, bounced out, but it bounced in.
Of course it bounced in.
But, and then they were talking about the delay of game they should have gotten on that one play was clearly that 0 was on the clock for almost 3 seconds before the guy snapped the ball, which wasn't called. They were focusing on that. But people don't realize Lamar Jackson in the first half threw 2 perfect bombs to Brown, and they were touchdowns all the way. And he dropped them. 2 perfect. Lions, when it comes down to it, in the fourth quarter, that guy catches those balls. Lions aren't even in the game.
The Lions also, it looked like Swift wasn't even looking at a pass that went right to him that would have been a touchdown.
Those were both, hey, Eddie, those were both on the same drive, so only would have been one touchdown's worth. But yes, he did drop two. There's no doubt. He dropped two sure touchdowns. Yeah, they were both on the same drive. So they would have had 4 more points, and the Lions actually would have been going for a touchdown at the end instead of a field goal. And had they scored it, then of course Tucker would have made a 66-yarder anyway. But to win it, you're right. You know, that was a fortunate break on their part.
But it also, like I said, it looked like Swift wasn't even looking on that wheel route where he was well past the defenders and he wasn't looking for the ball, and the ball was right there. That would have been a touchdown.
248-539-9797. More your phone calls and feedback. Our Champ and Chump nominations at 10:35. 97.1 The Ticket.
Whether it's after a hard day of work or relaxing on the weekend, we all love kicking back and watching live sports. And it doesn't matter what sport you're watching, it's always fun to have a little action. Baseball's wrapping up, but football's here, hockey's right around the corner, and basketball's next. And it's just more exciting when you're part of the game. That's why I downloaded the WynnBET app. That's WYNN Bet. Whether you're a recreational player like me or a serious handicapper, WynnBET is your ticket for every exciting wager. From straight bets, parlays, teasers, any exotic proposition wager you can dream up. The app is easy to use, and everyone knows Wynn is one of the biggest and best brands in the gaming industry. There are a lot of apps out there, so I'm going with one I trust and know, and that's WynnBET. So get off the sidelines, get the app on Google Play or the Apple Store today, and put yourself in the game. Win with WynnBET. Must be 21 or older and present in a state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
The wait is finally over. Knotfest Roadshow is back. Saturday, October 2nd at VTE Energy Music Theater. Featuring Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, Fever 333, and Code Orange. On sale now. Tickets available online at livenation.com. Visit knotfestroadshow.com for more.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Yep, I said before. Block heartburn at the source by taking the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. With just 1 pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn relief. That's all day. Start the 2-week challenge today at prilosecotc.com and live heartburn-free. Just 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2.
Use the middle lane to
Term
continue onto
Provider
West
at
8 Mile Road.
800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right onto North Dixboro Road.
9 on 97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome to everybody watching on Twitch, twitch.tv. Go over there on the internet and search up 971 The Ticket, and you can see inside the 971 The Ticket Jamie Samuelson Studios. Hello, Twitch crowd. Hello. And listening on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it today for your mobile device and take the show anywhere with you. Odyssey app is very popular. And then there's those who stream to our website.
Turn right onto North Dixboro Road.
You want a 10-second break from Lions?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I could use longer, but sure, let's start with 10.
This is funny. This is from Bear Slays on the Twitch feed.
Yeah.
So to change the subject for a moment, I had a realization over the weekend. Seeing Bryson DeChambeau wear a regular hat was somewhat refreshing and made me realize that over 50% of the reason why I hate him is that stupid hat. Because he wears the Hogan hat. That's funny.
I would say that there's validity to that argument.
I think there's a lot of that.
248-539-9797. Let's get back to your phone calls. Let's go to Sean in West Bloomfield. You're on 97.1. Hello, Sean.
Hey, boy.
Hey, Sean.
I'm the biggest Lions flappy in the world. And in my opinion, that was the perfect ending of the game. Couldn't have ended better, right? So, nothing is more important than setting up the draft. They're going nowhere this season. At least they showed some fight, which means they're buying into the coaches. But I can almost foresee there's a lot of season left, but this is shaping up like a fantasy snake draft for the Lions, what the Rams are doing here. So if they pick 1, 32, and 33, that'd be fantastic.
This is a fantasy draft.
I would prefer 1, 2, and 33.
Sure, I like the snakes.
Turn left onto 9 Mile Road.
You are bringing up something that looks really familiar to those that play fantasy football. The Lions might actually go out and execute that.
I mean, that's what matters, guys. Look at this. We traded Stafford away. Look what he's doing, right? The whole point of trading him away was to set up our offseason. We're not doing anything this year, so let Tucker have his
In 3.1
wonderful,
miles,
right? We
turn
need a
right
lot of
onto Marshall
losses,
Road.
bad teams out there. We need to lose, seriously.
I just, for my own sanity and for the sanity, I think, of that football team, they need a win. They don't need many, okay? But they need the first one, and I'd rather they get the first one soon.
I worry a little bit about too much losing starting to undermine Dan Campbell's chance at success. And, if he's the reason they're losing, which a lot of people feel like he's the reason they lost yesterday, and there's nothing a fireable offense, and I do this often. When we see something where I know people are going to be complaining, I look around and try and find, is there anybody nationally saying, boy, did Dan Campbell blow that? And I wasn't able to find anything this morning. And it's in part because what he did was standard operating procedure. Most people around football and cover the game and are in the game don't think what he did is absurd. But when your team goes out and blows it, it's common to think that your coach is a moron and that he played it wrong in the end. I first guessed it. I did first guess it. I made sure I wrote down I would go for the touchdown here because I want to give Lamar Jackson, even if it means he has a timeout or two, I'd rather give him the Lions defense 75 yards to defend than 45 yards to defend. And at the end, what they did didn't work. But, the Lions have proven to be a quality red zone offense in terms of touchdown percentage. Like when you get to the red zone, there's two different ways to measure it. How many times do you score when you're in the red zone, which is touchdown or field goal?
Which they're 100%, by the way.
And how many times do you get touchdowns? They're 87.5%. There's only two teams in the NFL that are better than that. Lions aren't going to blow you away with a lot of great statistics, but that's one of them. And, this is over 2.5 games. Do you play to that after 2.5 games? I don't know. But I did first guess it and thought, I don't know that I like the way they're going about this. The other team's got a Hall of Fame kicker. We got a guy off the street.
I'm wondering aloud if Dan Campbell got caught up in this whole thing and said, look, we're really close to getting our first win. I'm going to play it close to the vest, and we're going to do this. We're going to have them. We're just going to run the ball, force their timeouts, kick the field goal, and rely on our defense to get the job done. We got this. And he went conservative, which goes completely against who he is. And I bet you it's tearing him up today because these are these things that, when you go against what makes you you feel like you've cheapened something. You're going to feel guilty about it. And I wonder if he's going through that. I kind of feel like he is, because that's not him. This is a guy gambles. 4th and 1, we're going for it. 4th and 3, we're going for it. Unfortunately, yesterday with the Lions, a couple of false starts negate 4th and 1 opportunities, and then you're forced to punt because you're not going to go for a 4th and 6. But yeah, it's just it's missed opportunities, and that's one that I bet you in hindsight he'd love to have back.
Gator, are you ready for Champ of the Weekend?
I am, Doug.
The champ is here! My Champ of the Weekend is the U.S. Ryder Cup team, the youngest ever, hands Europe their worst loss ever. That was a dominating performance. Impressive U.S. Ryder Cup in what is my favorite sporting events. One of my favorite sporting events on my bucket list is to go to a Ryder Cup in Europe and just 3 days, be at all of it. USA. They dominated.
I loved it. I watched so much of the Ryder Cup.
At the next stop
I watched
sign,
probably 90%
turn right.
of the Ryder Cup. I spent a lot of time yesterday going back and forth. I was recording part of it to make sure that I didn't miss it. I love it. It's fantastic. My champ of the week is Jaden Reed, Michigan State wide receiver. He provided the only sparks offensively for Michigan State in their win over Nebraska. He hauled in his 4th touchdown reception of the year, and he added a 62-yard game-tying punt return for a score as well. That's the only offense Michigan State had all night long against a very stingy Nebraska defense.
Turn right
If you
onto
don't know
Marshall
his
Road.
story, he is an eminently likable kid. Easy to root for. I'm happy for Jaden Reed. Chump of the Weekend. Not that one. My Chump of the Weekend, Gator,
In
I'm going
1.7
with
miles,
the
turn
Europeans.
left onto Silver Lake
Because
Road.
quite frankly, they took one of my favorite sporting events. There you go. Took one of my favorite sporting events and rendered it unwatchable for me. I had no interest in watching the Ryder Cup because there was no drama because they got pummeled. The Europeans, my Chump of the Weekend.
Wow. That's
I
interesting. I mean,
was bored. It was over.
They
On
faced,
Sunday, it was over.
they faced a better team, clearly. And the matches, watching them yesterday, there was some excellent golf being played yesterday as well. I mean, you still saw Sergio chipping in like Sergio does. You saw Rory McIlroy go out there and try to atone for the first 2 days when he didn't do anything. He went out and tried to set the tone for Europe with a win. Okay, I mean, hey, it's your chump. Yep, it's what happens. It didn't stop me from watching it. I enjoyed it. For me, the chump, the crossbar at Ford Field. Do your job. The uprights completely understand their role. Man up, crossbar. Love it. Was it the Bears game? Where the crossbar just kept knocking everything down.
Yeah.
I swear the crossbar actually leaned in to knock a kickball down. What help, crossbar? Let's go. Uprights get it done.
Get your jump in for this weekend. Who had the best weekend? Who had a weekend that you want to call them out? Let's go to Alan in Southfield. You're next. Hi, Alan.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Okay.
Good. For the life of me, I can't understand why they didn't throw the ball in the end zone for one play. I mean, why did you get so
At the next stop sign,
conservative
turn
and
left.
0-2 football team? Throw the ball in the end zone.
Well, I'll give you 2 reasons why, Alan. All right, I'll give you 2 reasons. Yeah, your phone's terrible right there. One is that they don't want to stop the clock.
No, incompletion stops the clock, and the clock's their friend at that point.
Yeah, you're trying to get Baltimore to use up their timeouts, so that's why you don't do it.
Understanding, we know the upside, but that if you, for the life of you, can't understand, the reason is the risk of an incompletion stops the clock.
Turn left onto Silver
And the
Lake
other one is
Road.
you don't want to turn the ball over.
No,
Tip pass.
yeah,
Whatever. I mean, there's too many things can go wrong if you're throwing in the end zone. Now, if you wanted to say you wanted to run a screen pass or throw something really short to one of your other receivers, I don't have a problem with that because that's the route that I
turn
would
right
have gone.
onto
Throwing it
Silver
in the
Pine
end
Drive.
zone, you're going to stop the clock on an incomplete pass.
Would I have been more aggressive going after the touchdown, especially on third down? I want to call Goff a veteran quarterback who can, hey, if it's not there and it's not obvious, you just eat the football. Would I have been a little bit more aggressive
Turn right
on third
onto
down?
Silver Pine
Yeah.
Drive.
I might have been more
Then
aggressive
turn
on
left
first and
onto
second
Parker
down.
Court.
Again, thinking about defending 75 yards versus defending 45 yards, knowing who their
Turn
kicker
left
was,
onto
and
Parker
knowing who the
Court.
Lions kicker
Then
was.
arrive at your
Santoso
destination.
made it. Good for him. But the reasoning, if you don't understand why, is to drain their timeouts and drain the clock and give them as little time and opportunity to stop the clock as possible.
Arrive at
10690.
10690 Parker
We haven't even
Court.
talked about it. We've kind of mentioned it. Something else that was huge in this game that, of course, was part of the game. We'll get to that today at 10:48, 97.1 to 2.
Well,